I say in my commentary, finally, from the prevailing views of the Christian camp, in my study, we examined the comments of Pastor David Guzik. This is Judaism v. Christianity. Are Judaism and Christianity compatible one with none another? And we're reviewing the summary of the commentary that's available on my website at tetzetorah.com. My name is Ari Ben Lyman Hanavi, so I'm glad you've joined along with us. In my commentary here, I say again, we stressed the notion that Pastor Guzik is a fine Bible expositor with a solid foundation in the biblical Jesus and a firm grasp of the central truths of the genuine gospel. So along with the other pastors, Pastor Piper, Pastor MacArthur, and along with GotQuestions.org, Pastor David Guzik is going to represent kind of the general mainstream Christian perspective on this passage, which is a representation of the historic Christian position, but in my experience, it's not a very good representation of the biblical perspective. And remember, when we look at Matthew 9, let me hit this tab for you a second. You look at this passage, when we look at the parables that are following Jesus' initial answer about why he and his disciples aren't fasting, his two parables that are provided are not followed in this passage with any explanation, like Jesus has done in other places in the Gospels. You ask him a question, he gives a parable, and then his disciples are left scratching their heads. They don't understand it either. He pulls them off to the side and he gives them the interpretation. And we have it recorded for us. It's not always true, but many times it is. And so it's helpful when we have the master himself explaining what he means by his parables. By the way, they're not called parables here in Matthew or in Mark, but they are called parables in Luke. And so it's Christianity who has supplied the allegory that we're dealing with. So back to my commentary. I say, nevertheless, Pastor Guzik presented an interpretation of Matthew 9, 14 through 17 that essentially agreed with the previously examined Christian positions in that, here it is, Jesus did not come to repair Judaism, but to replace it with the new covenant. In essence, Judaism was irreparable. It was bad to the core, it needed to be thrown out, it needed to be replaced. And that's assuming the position that Judaism is a merit theology system, a works righteousness. Okay, that's the assumption made by all three of these resources that I've encountered, the fourth one now being Pastor David Guzik. They all kind of assume that Judaism in the first century held to a legalism of which the flavor was equal to what we would today call just works righteousness. You know, do the commandments, keep them perfectly, and God will save you. That's about it. All right, let's continue. Indeed, I say in my commentary, Pastor David Guzik feels that Jesus came to introduce something new, not to patch up something old, and thus there would be no need for a Jew to hold on to the cultural vestiges of Judaism once he embraced the new covenant. This is, again, the challenge. Is messing up Judaism an empty set? Is it allowable for a Jew to continue practicing his Judaism once he comes to a faith in Jesus? And so, let me see. Do I want to stop there? I think that's a good place to stop. I'm not going to read the rest. We'll stop in the mid evaluation of the summary of Pastor David Guzik. You can go back to my website and read the rest if you want, but we'll stop here tonight and pick this up again next week. Just keep in mind that when I'm having these discussions about this particular topic, about replacement theology and things like that, I'm not trying to support an idea, and I'm winding down with these comments. I'm not trying to support an idea that we bring back Judaism in all of its glory because Christianity is deficient. I'm not trying to pit these two religions against one another so that we can have them duke it out and see which one is the champion, and I'm placing all my bets on Judaism. That's not what's going on either. I fully realize that Judaism has its deficiencies, chiefly that which is that they reject Jesus wholesale, right? For the most part, religious Jews the world over, rabbinic Judaism has taken a stand against Jesus as Messiah. So I recognize that that is their primary deficiency as a religion, as a people group. And for that reason, I'm ready to hold them accountable for that rejection, right? When I say hold them accountable, obviously God is the one who judges the hearts of men. But what I'm saying is I'm ready to defend my position as a Christian, as a Messianic Jew, and tell them that, hey, the very same Bible that teaches you to be a good Jew, right, your Tanakh, your Old Testament, is the same Bible that teaches me who the real Messiah is. Jesus is his name. You want to find him, you don't have to look in the pages of the New Testament. It would be convenient if you did. But you can find Jesus in the Old Testament as well, right? He's there. God placed his identity there for you to find. You just need to search. And so, yes, that's what I mean by holding them accountable. So I'm not ready to just endorse everything that Judaism believes and teaches. But what I find discomforting, and I'm closing with this, is the idea put forth by these resources that I represented in my commentary, that Judaism as a lifestyle, right, the Torah-based lifestyle, is also incompatible with the Christian-based lifestyle. And that's where I'm going to take a lot of umbrage. I'm going to bring up a lot of challenges to the common Christian idea that the law has been done away with, that we no longer have to have any commitment to the law of Moses. We no longer need to practice circumcision or festival keeping or Sabbath keeping or kosher keeping and tzitzit wearing, etc., etc. Christianity has said that these things are done away with. I say no. I disagree. So that'll do it now for my study on Judaism v. Christianity. We'll pick this up again next week, right in the middle here of this paragraph where we're assessing the summary on Pastor David Guzik.